my good friend, my brother, almost seems like a long lost brother, Mr. Barkat, somebody whose smile is very infectious, very loving, or as some of the women in the room may say, he kills you with a smile. He's really been a wonderful friend ever since I first came to know him. And I don't think my 48-year-old dream of visiting Israel would have ever got fructified, would have never happened, but for my good friend Neil, whose perseverance that I have to come to Israel, and his phone calls asking me what's the date, give me the date, made sure that I came here, and every single moment I spent here has been a delight. Ambassador J.P. Singh, all the other very distinguished members of the Indian diaspora, friends with roots in India, sometimes long lost, sometimes new, a number of friends from the government of Israel, colleagues from the government of India and the embassy, our Jewish friends from Israel, members of the media and Indian delegation who joined me from India, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to first of all acknowledge the wonderful hospitality, the wonderful and warm welcome I received everywhere I went in Israel, government, private sector, or during my cultural foray into the city of Jerusalem, into the various parts of Tel Aviv. And I'm truly very grateful to the government of Israel, to my friend Neil, and to all the people of Israel for making this a very, very memorable visit. Thank you very much. Even though it's my first visit, it almost feels like home. It almost feels like I was destined to be here. And then, when I hear our little daughter of India, if I may call you, ma'am, Dr. Oshrit Devadkar, who's truly working as a bridge between Israel and India to strengthen this relationship, who brings new ideas to the table, who perseveres to bring us closer together. And then when we see this enchanting performance by Mr. Tavor Ben Dor and Tamar Klopper, I think collectively they really demonstrated that art and culture can really bind two nations. The beautiful rendition of the song in Hebrew with the instruments from India show the closeness that Israel and India share and make me feel even more wanted, even more at home when I'm amongst all of you. Thank you to you and to both our artists for that wonderful rendition. Friends, Mr. Neil Barkat really is a fantastic host. The love and affection that he showered on me, the arrangements, the outstanding engagements with the business community, his personal attention to detail. He spent hours on end to take me around the Jerusalem and areas of Jerusalem which are not even open to the public, he opened with his heart. The history of Israel that he shared with me, the history of Jerusalem as it went through all the tumultuous times of 3,000 years. Every single important location that he explained to me with a passion that only somebody who cares for his nation, who loves his nation, and who's committed to the India-Israel partnership could have done. Thank you, Neil. I'll forever be indebted to you. I must share with you also that he invited me to his home for a Shabbat dinner, and today through him I would also like to convey my thanks to Mrs. Barkat because she showered so much Barkat on me. The Indians, I think I tried to explain the meaning of Barkat to Neil yesterday. Truly, and I say this from my heart because I'm going around the whole world meeting colleagues, meeting trade ministers. Yesterday was something extraordinary. They opened their home to me. They got special persons from Tel Aviv, twins, two young girls who cooked a vegan meal for me, completely vegetarian in all respects, 11-course meal. Neil, you owe me one. I put on 1 kilogram since yesterday to today. But what a delightful experience it was for me to visit an Israeli home, learn the culture. And I felt as if I've just come back home, and only makes me regret why it took me so many years before I could reach or come to Israel and be amongst all of you. But having been here now, I do hope it's only the first amongst many visits to Israel. Both our leaders, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, are committed to making this relationship special. We are all aware that Prime Minister Modi was the first Prime Minister to visit Israel in 2017, and I don't think we've ever looked back after that visit. We are both countries which share not only a long history, bonds of friendship, bonds of culture and tradition, but also share the problem of terrorism. And both Israel and India are committed to ensuring that terrorism comes to an end. Terrorism is not tolerated, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his G20 address also has spoken at length against terror and spoken about uprooting terror from its roots so that the world can be a better, a safer place for all of us to live in. And I'd like to acknowledge and thank the government of Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu, my good friend Neil, for being the first to pay their condolences when we had the dastardly Pahalgam attack where 26 innocent Hindus, Indians, actually 25 Indians and one Nepali, all 26 were killed in broad daylight. Tourists, innocent tourists, killed for their religion in front of their wives, in front of their children, trying to send a message. But it only brought the country together. We gave a befitting response. And I think collectively, we all have to be conscious that terrorism has no place in the world, has no place, and all of us are collectively bound to help end the problem of terror anywhere in the world. In fact, we are both democracies. We are bound by history. We both love freedom. And Mr. Netanyahu had very beautifully articulated it when he said, we are two of the oldest cultures on earth. We are democracies, we share our love for freedom, and we share our love for humanity. We are truly your partners, Prime Minister Netanyahu said. We are truly your partners. This is a partnership made in heaven. What I have observed during this visit is that Israel is a nation built on bold ideas, relentless focus on innovation, and a culture to convert challenges into opportunities. When I saw the professor talking through the television about his experience when he was supposed to make a presentation and found that his computer was not booting or not starting, he conceptualized that he needed a backup, and the USB pen drive was created, was discovered, was developed in Israel. Similarly, for their defense preparedness, they have developed so many different technologies, which today we are sharing with each other. We are working together for the shared security of both nations, which will obviously ultimately lead to the shared prosperity of the people of Israel and the people of India. And it is this approach of converting a challenge to an opportunity that also brings our nations together. Whether it was the sanctions post-Pokhran in 1998-99 that India had to undergo, we saw high growth rates after that. Whether it was the Y2K bug in 99-2000, we saw our software industry take off from there. When the global financial crisis hit India, India grew at the highest speed. Our GDP grew at 11-12%. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi came into government, he brought all the taxes together and introduced the goods and services tax to get over the problem of cumbersome and multifarious taxes having a domino effect on taxes, multiplier effect on taxes. We are currently in India undergoing a massive program for reforming and transforming our processes, decriminalizing several laws, reducing compliance burden, making it easier to do business. You might have read that we have only yesterday notified 4 labor codes which will replace 29 labor laws by 4 well-articulated modern labor codes which will help Indian industry and the MSME sector particularly which will ensure our workers get a better deal, which will ensure that our contractual workers, non-formal workers also get social security. It's a continuous process towards transforming our processes and procedures to encourage greater trade, industry, manufacturing and business. And it's towards that end that I've come to Israel to cement this partnership with Israel. As was mentioned, we've finalized the terms of reference. Last night we spent a lot of time over dinner working on a plan how this will be taken to the next level quickly. We are looking at considering how we can even enter into a first track or a part A of our free trade agreement so quickly, so that the fruits of this partnership can be experienced by one and all, by different businesses. And from what I've seen of Mr. Barkat, he doesn't have time to waste. He's a man in a hurry, a man with a mission, and I'd love to work more with him going forward. My friends, all of you are the living bridge between India and Israel. The Jewish community which came from India to Israel and settled down here in large numbers, I'm told there are about 85,000 of them. There are also about 45,000 Indians who are working as caregivers and different as workers in different professions and helping build the Israel economy. We are very proud of you, but we look upon each of you as ambassadors of India, and what you do will truly be the image of India amongst the local people of Israel, and therefore we bank upon you to ensure that this partnership, this relationship only gets better, stronger. We share our cultures, we share our traditions. In fact, during this day I realized how much family values, family traditions matter in Israel, which is something very dear to all of us in India also. Similarly, I also realized while I was here that we also have similar television series. I don't know if you must have all seen Fauda. I recommend you also see Tanab, which is set in Kashmir, where we have our terrorist problems. So it'll be great going forward to see more engagement on culture, films, art. There's a lot of potential that we need to work on, a lot of business potential, and I've seen the excitement amongst the Indian businesses, amongst the Israeli business persons. You all have a very special role to play as we strengthen and further cement this relationship. Thank you all for all that you have done, staying grounded, staying true to your roots, but honest to the land which you have adopted, loyal to the land where you are working. Your affection towards India is much appreciated. But at the same time, your first loyalty, your first commitment has to be to the land which provides the food for your children, which provides your families. And I urge you to continue to hold the Indian flag high, to continue to work to strengthen this partnership. I'm going to go back tomorrow with very fond memories of this beautiful country, of the beautiful people that I have met during this visit, and of all the potential that this partnership awaits. Let's work together. Let's bring our two nations closer together. Let's make sure the future is ours to conquer. My best wishes and thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Honorable Minister Barkat to give his remarks. Thank you, sir.
Shalom everyone, good evening, Shavua Tov. My dear friend Piyush, I said to him that he has a gift of speaking so kindly, so warmly. But I was told before I met you that you're the toughest negotiator on earth. And Thursday in the gala dinner, I said to you that I'm giving you the title of Israeli. You're an Israeli, you're not just an Indian. Because Israelis are perceived to be tough on the outside, but very, very soft on the inside. And we all saw and we all see how soft you are. You're a very kind man. And yesterday I've learned that you have even something kinder in you, which is your wife Sima. And please send her our love and thanks and gratitude for a real warm friendship that, thank God, we've developed. I want to thank Ambassador J.P. Singh. You should know, I believe, you're the #1 ambassador in Israel. When you need to choose an ambassador to speak on behalf of all ambassadors, it's J.P. I usually, when we start doing business with a country, we ask ourselves, why should they work with Israel? And why we should work with India? Wow, it's a big deal with India. Because we've learned that Israelis and Indians love each other as people to people. The number of Israelis at any given moment in India, people think that we're as big as India. Because every second tourist is probably an Israeli. And I also said that I owe you, because my daughter, Noam, when she went to India, she found her Israeli boyfriend, and got together and got married, and I had 2 grandchildren because of India. So the theme of going and sharing and enjoying India is a big deal for Israelis. And they all go, when Israelis go to India, they feel extremely comfortable, safe, secure, loved. And similarly, we see Indians here in the crowd that come to work in Israel. Yesterday, we had a chat with a wonderful Indian working here in Israel as a caretaker. I know him, he's taking care of one of my members in the family. And we love him. He's like family. He's all around and he's so kind and he's so warm. And you know as much as I do that caretakers from India are welcomed, and not just caretakers, all Indians that work here. Because they come with shared values and vision and love and will to connect and to serve. These are things that put India and Israel's relationship, people to people, which is so precious. When you have good people to people, you could build many, many buildings on top of that. And this is something that goes back to history. Yesterday we spent time, Seema and Piyush and my wife and I, we went to the ancient city of Jerusalem to see our history 3,000 years old. to see some of the places that are still not open to the public, where kings and prophets walked. We saw those stones leading from the Siloam pool to the Temple Mount that are rubbed by millions and tens of millions of people that walked for thousands of years, for hundreds of years. And you understand how deep our history. And I remember every second time we spoke, Piyush, you told me, oh, we're so similar. We're different, but we have similar history, similar memory. And then again, it showed to me why we connect so well. So that's on the culture side and the people-to-people side. And we also know that Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Netanyahu have great friendship and relationship. They understand the values of our two nations and the mutual future of the two nations. And I want to add to that the economic side. And this is actually one of the things that us ministers focusing on economy see eye to eye. And here's how I view India. India is a giant waking up. A giant. Not just the fact that you're 1.4 billion people, the biggest population in the world, but you get it. You understand how you're scaling so quickly. Today, the fifth economy. Next year, the fourth economy. In 2 years, the third economy in the world. And moving so quickly in your growth. And this is an opportunity for Israelis to help you get there, to collaborate, to give you what we know how to do best, which is new innovation, new technology. You know how to take those ideas and scale them and grow to big numbers. India is not just focusing on its own, focus internally. India, from our perspective, is the gateway to all of Asia. Now, we're challenged by Europe. Europeans are confused. They are not always nice to us. They have zero growth. Sometimes some of them chose the wrong side of history. Maybe probably because of the influence of the immigrants from the Muslim immigrants to Europe. But they're focused on themselves and they're busy and they have some challenges. But Asia is open for business. And leading in Asia is the relationship with India. And the reason I'm so excited, and my friend Piyush, why I'm so pushy, is to see how we can marry the innovation from Israel and infrastructure in India. And if we can make you move faster, we win together. The Israeli technology and India technology and economy. I also want to say a word about the Indian Jews. Okay? They all have a lot of pride. They're proud to be Indians. They are a bridge, a gateway between Israelis and Indians because they understand both cultures. I was impressed by the things you've said. And we would like to see the Indian Jews, Indian Israelis, help us make this happen. From my experience, there's an advantage to have 85,000 Israeli Indians that understand the culture, and we should leverage their ability to take it to the next level. And some of the few last things I want to say is that when I look at my binoculars and look into the future, I believe that what Israel does today, $150 billion export a year, we need to get to $1 trillion in 20 years, less than 20 years. That's 7x, if not 10x. And I think that the biggest driver for us, the biggest driver is the relationship with India and Asia as a whole. I tell my entrepreneurs, and I come from the business sector, I tell them all, look, hedge on India, because this is where you have to, when you want to have your new businesses and your new industry, make in India, you want to have that collaboration because you're going to feel comfortable and safe. The two governments get along so well. So if there's a problem, we fix it together. hedge on India because the future of India and the future of Israel are intertwined, and I will do everything I can to make this relationship successful. God bless India. God bless Israel. Let's do it.
Thank you, Minister. We have now come to the conclusion of the formal ceremony of today's community reception. I will request all to rise for national anthems.